Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Hodges. For those who don't know me, from Program Design Technologies. First, I'd like to thank for all those people that are looking at the videos. I'm hoping that they do help for you. I laugh because I've been trying to do the videos in 10 minutes. That's why you've seen me trying to rush, and then I just figured out a way not to have to rush. Okay. I'll still try to be prompt, but I think this is a real important issue because a lot of you are having the problem that, especially the realtors, that you work at home from home, you're working from home, or you have your business. A lot of these service guys have their business from home, and one, you don't want the people having to know where you live. Not because of any certain reason, but you don't want you don't want the stranger to know where you're living. Two, you live in the suburbs, and most of your work is inside this, in the city. So when you list your business and your home address and it's not in the area we work, what's the major problem? You're not going to come out when people look for that service in the city where you do the work. So this is a big problem for some people. And a lot of the times you don't want to be paying, it's expensive to pay Google ads. They are very good for the business, but sometimes, if you have that low faith, if you're not, don't have the income, you know why you don't have the income, because you need to pay some Google ads. But if you want to save some money, you can always, do the following. But I'm going to talk about the different ways that you make sure you cover the most area. If you live in the city and you want to cover the cities around you that you do service in, how can you get them to maximize the Google My Business so that it will display your business as far as possible? That's one. The other one is you live, you're working at a home. You don't want them to know your home address. This is I'm going to show you how you can do this, and it's all perfectly legit. And number two, most of your work is in a certain city where it's not where you are, right? It's a lot of problems for a lot of people. Especially right now with COVID, a lot of people are working from home. I've had a lot of roofers, contractors that live in the suburbs, but they have to travel an hour to get the business to the major city, and the Google My Business is really not doing nothing for them. And so I'm going to show you a way that you can do it that is not expensive, so you can go ahead and cover the city. You'll be listed in the city where you want to be without paying a Google ad. By no means it will replace a Google ad. I have a lot of faith in the Google ads. I've seen a lot of good things in the Google ads, and it's just getting that faith to do them. But obviously there are ways to be able to do this a little more economically, and I hope that this helps you if you're stuck in that rut. If you're just barely starting and you don't have $1,000 to do a Google ad to be competitive. Because normally Google ads, the more you put, the more the opportunities, and $200, $150, it'll get you some work, but it's really not going to do much. But let me show you. Okay. Basically, let me share my screen right here. Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to rush. I've been trying to do everything in 10 minutes because that's how LinkedIn allows. Okay. Let's say I'm a home remodeler, and the people are looking for a home remodeler in Costa Mesa. Okay, obviously, for like this person here comes out in the 3-pack, right? So now in the 3-pack, these guys are coming out. But what if I go and look for a home remodeler in Huntington Beach, which is a city adjacent, right next to Costa Mesa? Huntington Beach. Okay, if I look for Huntington Beach, let's see the Costa Mesa one. Oh, you garbage. Oh, sorry. Okay. In Costa Mesa, we see home remodelings, home improvement. We already don't see home remodelings. Okay, so the Google ad that home remodeling is paying for in Costa Mesa is not in Huntington Beach, and we're talking cities that are adjacent, they're right together. Okay, so what's this telling me? Well, this guy only paid a Google ad to come out in Huntington Beach. So these guys are paying Google ads. Let's look down here. These guys are done. The criteria for these guys, for them to appear in the 3-pack, Google's looking at the location first. Who's the closest? Then it's looking at your credibility, or on all your listings. Are your name the same? Is your phone number the same? Is your address the same? Is the listing complete? Okay. Does he have good reviews? Okay. So first they look at the location, then they look at the different criterias until they figure out who they're going to place in this particular position. Okay. Also, are you within the service areas? It's a checklist to make sure that in the city or in the location that you live in, you come out, because almost, I would say 80% of the time, if you do the Google listing correctly, you will come out for a certain area where your business is. It's like an 80% without doing anything else. The Google My Business, make sure you put the service area you cover. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When I see the service area you cover, Costa Mesa, it has the center of each city is 12 miles from Costa Mesa. There's a 12-mile radius here. Okay. So what happens is, if you come out in Costa Mesa, because that is where your business is, and let's say somebody looks for a home remodeling business in Tustin, it's within the 12-mile radius, and in Tustin there is no home remodelers, you'll come out. Even further, you'll come out. But if in Tustin there's 3 home remodelers, the 3 home remodelers that are located in Tustin will come out before you. Okay, because it's by location. Now, if the 3 home remodelers in Tustin don't have their Google listing right, or there's conflicts on their listings, what is going to happen is that you might have a higher ranking than they do, because the ones in Tustin don't have the correct information, and Google is based on user experience. In other words, what does the search engine want? It wants to make sure that its customers, it's the persons who use the search engine, that it wants to make sure that, if they call the phone number is correct, if they go to an address is correct. I believe I told you this in another video before. They want to make sure that the listing is correct, so because they don't want to be sending people where nothing's there, right? So if any of these areas, if there's high competition, lots of competition in Tustin, and you're in Costa Mesa, well, you're out of luck. The only way that you could appear in Tustin, if you're in Costa Mesa, is if you paid a Google ad in Tustin. That way you would be up top. Okay. So if you were in Costa Mesa and somebody looked for a home remodel in Tustin, and in Tustin there's a lot of competition, you would need to pay a Google ad to be on top and come out in Tustin, even though your business is not in Tustin. Okay? And you could do the same for any of the cities, or you can put multiple Google ads for any of the cities, so you come out where you want to do the work, even though your business is in Costa Mesa. Okay? Now, what is another way I can do this? What is another way that I can come out there? Well, there's a certain thing called a virtual mailbox, not a PO box. There's 2 things the Google does not like or does not promote too good, is the is the PO boxes or businesses that do not put an address. You got to remember, this is an algorithm. It's a computer that's actually looking for these things, and it wants to give people the places that it can trust, right? It doesn't want to send a customer somewhere that, it might not be there, it might be a scam. So anybody who uses a PO box, it's secondary to anybody who uses an actual physical address. Let me show you more or less what I'm talking about. iPostal is an awesome service. It's not expensive, and it's an awesome service. I'm not promoting it. There's a million out there. Put virtual mailbox, make sure it's a business address. They have a bunch of locations, right? So what happens here? For virtual mailing, I could have an address for $9.99, and I can put this address in my Google listing like my office. For all you that work from home, for all you that have your business, this is an awesome way of doing it, because why? You don't have people giving them their home address. It's not expensive, okay? And any mailings that get there, they'll forward it to you. They have various packages that have different services, but the best thing about it, you actually get a physical address. And now you put all your website, your Google listings. So if I'm in Costa Mesa, but all my work is in Huntington Beach, I can actually contract a virtual mailbox in Huntington Beach and do all my listings on my website around that mailbox. And definitely you're not going to put mailbox, you're going to put that physical street address. And what's going to happen is, now my Google listing is going to be priority in that city. That's awesome. That's awesome. For $9. Okay. If the city still has a lot of competition, you might have to pay a Google ad to be on top. But generally, that will place you pretty much in the 3-pack in that city, or close to it anyway. Now, for example, people who are realtors, home services, people who clean houses, this is a beautiful way of doing it, okay? That way you don't have people. I actually was talking last night. I saw in one of the groups on Facebook, one of the new businesses was asking, she sells jewelry off of Facebook. I would never give my home address. I remember when I was young, we had a jeweler that used to go to our home, and he used to, I was about 17 there in Costa Mesa, and he used to take jewelry to the homes, and we used to pay it in payments. We used to pay all, made a lot of money. He was Jewish. He got hit. Somebody actually saw him getting into his car with the jewelry, and they robbed him and they hurt him. So if you sell jewelry, if you sell, if you do these type of services from home, use a virtual mailbox. A lot of these services, you actually go out to the customer. So you can put in the actual Google My Business as by appointment only, and you can guide it so that you can go ahead and see these people in their home or wherever the job is at. So for realtors, for people who have this type of selling from Facebook, this is beautiful. For people who, I have a contractor, or I had a contractor that had 7 virtual mailboxes in 7 different states and 7 different business licenses, so he could do work in 7 different states. He was doing great. Okay. In another video, I'll show you how you could do that. This is perfectly legit, guys, because this is a business address. You're not, you're not trying to lie to nobody. You're just trying to protect yourself, or you're just trying to get to work without having to spend. Now, again, if the city you pick, if you pick Los Angeles, if you pick Chicago, if you pick you're going to have to do a Google ad because there's going to be a lot of people doing Google ads. I mean, I tell my customers that basically marketing is logical, guys. Okay. For example, this one here, which is my address, is in Costa Mesa. It's an office building. So, this protects you from having to have your home address on your publishings, and it puts you in a good place. I was raised there. I used to walk in that street when I was young. Okay. So remember, you can contact a virtual mailbox and you can put it in whatever city. You can have as many as you would like. They're not expensive. Okay. It does not replace the Google ad where there's a lot of competition, but it does give you a heck of a lot better opportunity, especially for those guys that live in the suburbs, and really cannot get a chance to be inside a major city. Sometimes you need to get work. Also, another thing I did want to tell you is in your website, my notes, make sure you have the cities that you're going to cover. Okay? Make sure you have the cities. Ooh, we're back. Make sure you have the cities that you cover on your website. We call this an H2. We call it an H2 font or H2 title, which is the size that on the bottom, have a list of the cities. On the meta line, and I'll show you right now. Well, actually, you'll be looking at it up here in a second. Let me just edit the video and I'll put up there what an H2 font is, what is the meta line. On the website, put the cities. Also, if you do remodelings or if you're a realtor in a certain area, make sure you place realtor in Costa Mesa, realtor in Huntington Beach. On the titles, put the city. You're going to say, well, that's not going to look too good. The search engine picks this up. And you have a better opportunity. Okay? So you need to do this. Another thing. The business name is spell it the same on all your listings and on your website. The business address needs to be exactly the same. The business phone number needs to be exactly the same. The hours of operation, the categories of the business, all this, you have to remember that what actually searches when you put up there what type of service you need is a robot. And this is what it looks for. And if there's a business that have discrepancies, this can take you away from being available for somebody. It knows because it finds everywhere you go, and I'll show you in another video how that happens. Also, there's a new thing called the Google Maps Messenger. You'll see it up here as soon as I edit the video. It'll be somewhere up here, okay? The Google Maps Messenger is a new tool. From your Google My Business, you can download your Google My Business into your cell phone, and now, or you can open your Google My Business inside your website. No, I'm sorry, on your the browser, and people can actually ask you questions directly from the browser, from the listing. That's awesome. I mean, you could actually have them ask directly from your Google Maps listing. They can ask you a question or go to your phone and you can answer back. Of course, if you're the owner and you don't want to do that, let the receptionist put it on her phone. But this is going to be one of the new algorithms that is Google's going to see how fast you respond or whether you have it activated for your ranking. So even though you might not like that, it's going to be necessary so you rank better because they're going to be measuring if you have it and how fast you respond. Actually, Facebook does that already. Okay. So if this stuff, you know, you open the Google listing in a virtual mailbox in the city where you work or in the cities where you want to work, you have all your listing correct and everything doesn't work, Google it. Okay. Now, do numbers. If you do the numbers, you'll see that it works. This is Michael Hodges, Program Design Technologies. My number is 1-845-470-0217. If you have any questions, please give me a call. Feel free to give me a call, extension 1. And, you know, the business is out there. It just depends on you to be proactive and bring it to you, okay? Have an excellent day. Thanks for watching my videos.